you need peace in the country. And in order to do that, you must be very, very firm against the troublemakers. These ones who want to promote demonstrations, want to promote, you should mobilize very strongly strongly and logically against them, so that they don't disturb our, because the people in Kampala, those Bayai people in Kampala, they have problems. They have socio-economic problems. It is true. Partly because of the negligence of our people in the town who were there. They were not attending to them. But still, some of the people in the countryside are doing well. So, because you are doing badly, you cannot cause confusion so that even the one who is doing well joins you. It's better you consolidate what is good, but you also improve what needs to be improved. So that's number two. Number one, socio-economic transformation with the different efforts under it. Secondly, to ensure peace. But number three, you need physical economic infrastructure. That's what we are talking about. The roads, the railway, the electricity. Now, I don't know whether you noticed when you were coming here, the shame. I don't know whether you saw those lines which they are bringing here. When you are going back, you look at them. The poles are very small. Very small. So, Prime Minister, we must do something about this Ministry of Energy. The RIA, whatever they call them. I don't know whether you saw those poles. They are just like this microphone here. Why can't these people get proper poles? The ones of proper width. So, number one, socio-economic transformation. Number two, peace. Number three, infrastructure, meaning the roads, the electricity, the railway, the waterworks, the telephones. Number four, once our people wake up, they all go of cholera, the stomach and the pocket. Then the production will be so much. We have the issue of the market. The market. And please be careful. Don't talk about things aimlessly. Because sometimes you hear people say bottom-up approach. That the bottom will tell the top what to do. Okay, the bottom may be there. But the bottom doesn't know what is happening in the atmosphere. So, when people say, these people want to do this, want to do this, they don't know. So you people who know, because we have talked about it, don't allow your people or don't encourage your people to produce something of which you are not sure about the national demand, regional demand, and international demand. Don't encourage them. Because whatever you encourage, make sure there is a big internal demand in the country, maybe also regional demand, maybe also international demand. For instance, yesterday, one of the people who was speaking there in Kyenkwanzi was talking of sugarcane, Elukado. You remember the other Rutamaguzi board? That he has got some money from sugarcane, some good money. But first of all, For him, he was using 10 acres. And you remember, our customers, our clients, the ones we are struggling for, are the ones of 2 acres. You remember? Because this is the problem. In West Nile, it is 2 acres. In Bugisu, it is 2 acres. In Busoga, it is 2 acres. In Kijezi, it is even less. So, we are talking about the 2 acres people, not 10 acres. 10 acres, that's already extensive. You remember? Intensive versus extensive. And then secondly, the sugar cane he was talking about is not for sugar. It is just for chewing. For chewing and you spit on the road there. Because in the Chenkwas area, there are no sugar cane. There's nobody growing sugar cane. So, because people who are buying for chewing, they give him a little bit of money. He gets he said 4 million per acre in a year because of chewing. Because they are in an isolated place where there is no sugar cane, and as you know, sugar cane is an energy food. Even in Ixoro, because they climb mountains, you normally found them with the stems of sugar cane. They go chewing to get energy as they are climbing mountains. So that is limited demand but limited. So, but you cannot plan for it for a zone. You cannot. You should, yes, they can take advantage of it as long as it is there, but please don't over promote it, because if people come in many, then you will have nowhere to sell what you are producing. Then there was also Mr. Mnyawera, the big man, the elderly man, the one who's getting quite a bit of money from beef. But again, beef is an extensive product. I produce cows for beef myself in Ixozi. But I don't encourage those people to copy my example, because for them they have got small pieces of land. And the international demand of beef is not the same as milk. Milk has got more demand than beef. Beef used to have a lot of money. In the 1950s, when we were in the school system, one of the richest countries in the world was Argentina. Argentina was number 10 in the world in terms of wealth. And the reason it was rich was because of beef. Also Australia was rich because of beef. But the problem came when the European Union formed a cartel and started subsidizing beef produced in Europe. And they shut out the beef of Argentina, shut out the beef of Australia. That's when the beef collapsed in terms of international demand. So it is there. You can have it for internal, for regional Congo and so on, but internationally, milk will be is safer. So therefore, be very careful when you are promoting anything to your people. You need to be sure about the market. Don't make your people collide and go in something which is not viable. When I was meeting the Western region people, they talked of vanilla, the man from Bunduwijo, and I said, please be careful about that vanilla. Check the market, the global market. Now, the other day, I asked my staff to check the market of avocado. You remember we were talking about avocado. It seems the demand of avocado is growing, Because from the figure they gave me, I think it has now reached 6 billion or something like that. $6 billion globally. So number 5, you need the human resource, education and health. And that's why I'm very happy with your resolution when you have now joined me in fighting for free education. Thank you so much. Because if we really fight, because you see what is causing problems are people who are looking for their own interests and they don't care about other people. These headmasters and the local elite, they want to get money from the parents. They want to get money from the parents. There are local traders who want to get money from selling kaunga and all that to the schools. They don't care about whether the children go to school or not. But when these children drop out of school, that's how eventually they build up a group like this NUP. I mean children who were discarded by society. And this is because of these mistakes. So I welcome you that you have now taken a stand, formally all of you, on the issue of free education. We should not tolerate anybody who does not support free education in the government schools. If you want to pay, the private schools are there, you go and pay. But please, for government schools, no pay. Let the children study free. Whether they are efficient or not efficient, at least let them study. You will have helped us. Then number 6, stability. We need stability. Stability, you remember in my speech, the other speech, I talked of the 6 issues. One of them was free education, but there was also the evictions from land. You fight this in your area, because there's nothing that will happen which you don't know in your constituency. I am here. I can support you. There was, in Uganda here, there was this woman of Mityana, Navakoba. That girl was fighting land evictions. And her work was very much appreciated. They cheated her votes. We know how they cheated her votes because our system also was very lax. But she was doing a very good job and she's very much appreciated. So politically, where you are, if you stand, not cheap popularity, because that was my problem with Nantaba. Nantaba was fighting for the landless, but she also added on cheap popularity. Even the ones who were telling lies, she would support them. No, don't support people who are telling lies. Only support the genuine people. We are going to discuss in the caucus the issue of visiting, of being Christopher Columbus. No, it was not. Christopher Columbus had a destination. There was Magellan who went around the world. So we are going to discuss in the caucus the issue of Ferdinand Magellan to go around the world, circumnavigate the world. We shall discuss it when we are not drunk, when we are sober, and we shall see the way forward. Now, finally, Tie Peko Matidi, Tie Peko Matidi, these people don't know our language, so we have left them out. Those who know the language, you know what to do. The tie teko matidi pe lotino duchu somebody will handle that issue. Those who know the language translate for the others. À part à Rio. Après au matin.